Hello guys, welcome to Gers TV. Lewis, and we've got Gordy. I'll let you guys, I've not got my specs on and I'm literally been running about mad. I'll let you introduce the show and what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, well, Gordy, do you want to introduce it, or will you let me do the honours for a change?
Up to you, on you go, Lewis. Take it
That's
away.
alright.
Take it away.
Yeah, so of course, welcome to this week's live show. Obviously, we're doing it on the Monday since the game's tomorrow, but yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about Saturday. I mean, the less is said, the better, I think.
That's how I'm passing on to you.
We'll talk a wee bit about tomorrow night's game, and of course, we'll talk about the new signing, Oliver Antman, and Mikey Moore as well.
Aye.
Anyways, gents, how are you?
Aye, I'm all good. I'm busy. I was doing a wee interview that I'm going to be putting out next week. So there's been a lot of things happening. Aye, all good. In terms of the channel, everything's going really positive. I had a wee chat later on about that. We'll get Jason's added to the channel. Jason's going to help us. Dylan will be here in the future. So there's going to be new faces. It's all good. But aye, the football at the weekend did disappoint me. But we'll talk about that in a minute. What about you, Gordy?
I'm good, just been a long day today. It's been busy with the weather outside at work and stuff like that. I hope everyone's stayed safe today and look forward to a 40, half an hour, 45-minute chat about the Rangers. Can't wait.
Aye. I mean,
I certainly can wait.
I'm just trying to be positive, mate. Well,
aye, I mean that's the big thing about it is we waited all these weeks for the season to start. Well, it started, so we might as well embrace it. New signings came in today, guys. Well, Mikey Moore came in at the weekend.
Let's start with that. Let's start with that. Start with the positive. Aye, start with the positive.
Well, I did send you a wee joke today and they laughed at it, so we'll crack it again. It seems like a Marvel comic when I'd seen that they signed the Gas Man and then it was the Ant-Man, and a lot of times people that dislike me on the channel, the rival fans would call me the Fat Man, so I'll get in there first. But I think it's exciting times in terms of the players coming in. Can they play the formation? And I'll be happy with the style of football. That's what the subject's going to be about, innit?
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy seems all right. He's costing a few £1 million. He's done well. I think Go Ahead Eagles. What a fantastic name of a football club that is, isn't it? Go Ahead Eagles. Got him in what 3.5 million with some add-ons, and we got him a long-term contract as well. So got him on I think a 4-year contract with an option for another one. So
Yes.
it's a significant investment. And
6 foot tall as well. We
Yep.
started buying big players.
we have started buying big players, and well, I think because in the SPL, at least over the last couple of years, we haven't dominated, especially at set pieces and balls over the top. Then, it's good to get some bigger players in. But it's one of these things, isn't it? Like Judy's going to be out. He's not a big name, but I think Go Ahead Eagles won the Dutch Cup last season. So
I do believe he's got. I think he did most number of assists in the league last year.
Yeah, 15.
Which is important for us. The other thing as well with that, and I'm not want to be negative here, but I have to be negative to be positive. If that's going to get rid of Dowell out the team, then right away that's a positive for me. 2 wingers, because the boy Mikey Moore's a winger. It's 2 wingers with a lot of potential. It can only benefit the club.
Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Kieran Dawes going to be out the team, because I said this a few weeks ago. Kieran Dawes started every friendly. He started the 3 games, and Russell Marl's made him a senior part of the squad. So
I think you
don't do that. You don't do that if you're getting somebody out the door.
Well, he's chased this guy. He's been trying to get him for how many months?
Oh, a good while.
Obviously, the scouting team have been wanting him. They've never gave up the search for him. You might be right with that, Gordy. However, as we know, there was a kind of controversial press conference after the game at the weekend, and the manager is kind of calling out some of the players. If that's the case, then, well, we're going to discuss it anyway at some point. Who are the players he's talking about? I would have thought Dowell, Tavernier, and I think he might have been having a go at Raskin as well on Diamondi, but I'm not really. But it's a guessing game.
I don't think. Sorry, once it was in my mind goes to say this. I don't think he was talking about Doyle at all, because he kept Doyle on for the full 90 minutes. I'm sure. So
no, that's a good point.
He wouldn't. He took off. He took off Raskin. He took off Diomande. Took off Danilo. But he kept Kieran Dowell on the park, and if he was unhappy with his performance, then surely he would take him off. So I don't think he was talking about Kieran Dowell.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
well, I'm going to go back a wee bit. I'm going to talk a wee bit about Oliver Antman a wee bit. Of course, I think we mentioned as well. He got the most assists in the league last year as well, 15. Also scored 6 goals. Applying his trade with Go Ahead Eagles. He was only there for a year. He was at FC Nordsjælland, I think I've said that right. The club that Diamonde was at as well. So they've played together. They've sort of got that link.
You've done your homework, haven't you?
I have done my homework, yes. And Gordy, you're right, they did win the Dutch Cup last year. I think their first major honour in about 60 or 70 years or something like that. So, of course, massive for the club. But yeah, it looks to be a great addition, of course, as we mentioned as well. 6'1" tall, so seems to be a sort of pattern there with Russell Martin signing big tall boys as well. And I mean, I think the only two that I can think of that aren't over 6 foot are Gassama and Mikey Moore, and even then Gassama's 5'10". He's not too small either. So yeah, looks to be a great addition. He's a player I don't know much about. I've heard his name in the past. I've heard that we've been linked with him, I think maybe last season, even the season before as well. I think we've been linked with him a good couple of times. Looks to be a great player, of course, as we mentioned. 6 goals, 15 assists. That's exactly what we're looking for, that type of output, especially out in the flanks.
Aye. I mean, stats-wise, it does seem the kind of player we want. We do need an aerial threat. We've got good wingers came into the club, that is one thing. It's just that the style of football that we've played since the start of the pre-season, it's how these players adapt to it is a big worry for me. Other thing I'll say, just on the Mikey Moore scenario, he's 17, but I believe he's 18 next week or 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, day before me.
It's a big... Oh, right, there you go. If I'd known you were coming, I'd have baked a cake.
11th of August reminds the glorious 12th, but carry on.
Aye. My only worry with that is, and I hope I'm right with this, because it does happen very rarely, but it does happen. An 18-year-old boy, and that's who our hopes have been getting held on with. A lot of people, a lot of fans are saying, this boy will be a regular. That's quite a concern to me, because it should be experienced players who should be taking the reins here. But Antman might be the man that does it. And I've been really impressed by Gassman, or Gassama. How do you pronounce this one?
Gassama.
Gassama.
Gassman.
He's called the gas fan at me, but anyway. But I just think a 17-stroke, 18-year-old boy shouldn't be where our hopes and expectations are.
So I've got to be honest, to be honest, I disagree with you there. I think, especially in the modern game, you see a lot of young players. Of course, I'm not exactly comparing them, but you look at the situation of the boy Lamine Yamal at Barcelona, and even Mbappe a few years ago when he was about 17 or 18, carrying Monaco into the semi-finals of the Champions League, and of course went to PSG for about 150, 200 million or something like that. So I do disagree with you.
But when you're saying that, I'm not questioning their ability on that.
Yeah, no,
I'm questioning the fact that we've got a support who wants things instantly, and include myself on that. Tillman never got a chance, and what's the boy's name? It went to Ahmed Diallo, who I thought was a great player, never really got a chance. And the support are on the verge of going crazy. So I don't doubt whatsoever that boy's ability. It's did these clubs give him a better opportunity?
I think he's coming here for regular game time, and as much as Tottenham didn't do too well last season domestically, I mean, they won the Europa League, and a lot of Tottenham fans are saying he was one of their most creative players last season.
He looks fantastic. He looks
to be a great player as well, of course. I mean, you look at highlights, pardon my language, but you can make a peck in the cheek look like a porno if you look at highlights, so...
All right, okay.
No, but it's true. It's true. Like you look at highlights and you look at clips of him. He does seem like a great player, very creative.
Is that one of your inside secrets there, Lewis?
Well, to be honest with that, the one thing I will say about him is his actual level. He's done it at all levels of boys so far, so it's natural that you'd expect him to come up Scotland and kick it off again. I really do hope it works out for him. It's not a long-term signing, that one, but the boy Ant-Man, was that a couple of years? Was it?
4 years. An option for another year at the end.
Obviously, the price might go up, but I take it that's to do with how well he does and performs and plays, which is fair enough. These are positions that we need to get better at.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, I just want to pick up on the Mikey Moore situation. I think I want to come down on the side of Lewis here. He's played a lot of games for Spurs in the last 18 months. He was out on loan before that as well. He's played at a high level, and he's played all the way in the Europa League as well. So he's not coming in fresh. He's coming in with he's already got a good amount of experience, and there's no way he's been set up here to sit on the bench. And So a lot of clubs after him as well. No, I'm not saying like your big European clubs were after him, but a lot of clubs down, maybe the bottom half of the Premiership, the Championship were after him, and it's a coup. And I'm looking forward to seeing him, and he'll play the majority of the games, and I think he'll add a big thing. He'll add a lot to the attack. I'm really
Aye.
really excited to see him.
Well, I do think I did hear this, and I do think the reason you're right about he'll play a lot of the games is that the wingers will swap around. It'll be different wingers every week, and they'll play different parts in the game. Some will play 60, 70 minutes. So I do think that's the case. He's young, he's fearless, he's got nothing to worry about. My whole point is I'm just hoping that the fans can embrace this young talent. It's not often we get an opportunity, a young boy like this coming to Scottish football, and if the reputation is anything to go by, is something to cherish and marvel at this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a wee comment in for Jim Ward. He's disappointed there's no option to buy with Mickey Moore, but you're talking 30, 40 million if you want to buy something like that, and
The,
it's
the,
quite incredible the
I
prices.
wouldn't
So
necessarily say that much. On transfer market, it says that his value is about 17, 18 million. Even then, that's still a lot of money for us. So
Spurs have been clever with that,
Yeah.
and I also believe, guys, that Spurs let Mikey Moore pick the club. It wasn't his, well, maybe his agent would be involved, and I know he spoke to Defoe, Jermaine Defoe, who influenced it a wee bit. But this
aye,
lad
no,
wants
definitely.
a big thing that we always moan about, and we do like to moan. Let's be honest. A big thing we always moan about is we want players who want to play for the Glasgow Rangers. They want to be here. They want to be a part of the setup. In his interview, I know he's a young boy, but he seems to be mature enough. With his interview, that he knows that it's a good move for him for a season. This will make him into a man, because we all know what's going to happen. They're going to kick lumps at him. But that's
Yeah.
if they can get him. That's if they can get him, because he looks fast.
Yeah, definitely. Just a couple wee comment in. I think that might be Dylan. He's better than what we have already, and Tottenham rate him very highly. So hopefully he hits a good running up here. And yeah, his age is irrelevant up to a certain point.
When you
So
said it was Dylan and he said it's better than what
it's
we have
Dylan's
already,
brother,
I thought,
but you're close enough.
is it his brother? I was
That's
just,
his brother,
ju-
Nathan,
when you
aye.
said he's better than what we have already, I thought you meant he's better than Lewis. I was going, there's a bit of a rivalry starting. So that's his brother. So get Dylan will be on next week.
I was talking about you, not Lewis. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's all true then. Aye, no, it's some good points here.
Okay. So we may as well get it out of the way, and then we can look forward again. So we would talk about the game. We need to talk about the game on Saturday,
Of course,
you know,
aye.
unfortunately. So I'll start off we'll just summarise it very quickly. So disappointing. Brought in these new players. Not most of them are unfit still, and it was just the same old. You've seen it coming for last season. Uh, Most of the players are the same. Max Aaron's still playing out of position at left back. We've got about six at the club. It's hard to explain that really. When you've got Robbie Fraser, Jeffrey, what's happening with Redman, God only knows. But it's and then yeah, just the same old, and yeah, disappointing.
Yeah.
Aye. I'll be honest, it ruined my weekend. I was really, really pissed off with it. Somebody texted me and said that Celtic are jammy so-and-so's, but they're no. Motherwell wanted to score in the last 5 minutes of the game, and Motherwell scored in it. Celtic the next day done what they always do. They wanted to score. They had a high press and they went for it. Rangers should have been going for another goal, and we sat back. You only score goals if you attack and try and score goals. It's a serious concern for us, because Gordy's right. It was so alike the last few seasons. This is meant to be a revolution. This is meant to be something new. But I think for the last 20 minutes of the game at Fir Park, we were all thinking the same thing. They score, then we're in the ship.
And you know what, you're right. And I feel like Tavernier saying this, because I think every week we're constantly talking about how disappointed we are. But
Aye.
it's right. And you know what? As I said, they're disappointed, but I'm not surprised, to be honest. And as you said there, I think at the 70, 80 minute mark, you're expecting Motherwell to score, because we go 1-0 up and we're sitting back. It's these sort of games that we should be killing off within about half an hour, 45 minutes. You should be about 2 or 3-0 up, killing the game at half time.
I'll go as far to say as I actually thought Motherwell deserved to sneak it at the end.
I do. I agree with you. We were lucky to get a point, and it says it all when Russell Martin, of course the manager, came out and said that Motherwell were braver, they were stronger, and they were more attacking than us. And I mean, the stats show that Motherwell had 17 shots, we had 15, and right after Motherwell scored, you'd expect a sort of small, no disrespect intended, but a smaller club to sort of sit back and take the point. But Motherwell kept going as if they were wanting to get the win. It clearly showed that they almost did.
Right. They played a similar style to us and more effective style to us because they were a bit more direct. Yep. We've still got this thing, right? I know it's meant to be a family show, but I can't think of another word for it apart from fanning about. We seem to be really, really good at fanning about in non-dangerous areas. All right, there's 10, 20, sometimes 30 passes, but they're no effective. Motherwell had about 4 or 5 good passes and they got a goal with it.
It's taken us 20, 30 passes to get into the opponent's half, and it's taken Motherwell 2 or 3 passes to get into our box.
And back to what Gordy mentioned, I've ranted about this for months, but I'll go back on it again. Play players in the correct position. I don't think Jeffy is anywhere near as bad as the manager clearly thinks he is. Tavernier will play. I think Rangers are a better defence with Tavernier in it. I will say that. However, he's slowly becoming... He's getting too old and he's going to be getting phased out. I would be dropping Tavernier for tomorrow night and I'd get Max Aarons in his correct position and Jeffy. Play a left back at left back. Play a right back at right back. But I will say one thing about the game at the weekend is that the boy is at Giga. I thought the defender, Giga, I've seen him a few times now. He does look like the real deal. I'm not so sure how long we're going to keep that partnership with Giga and Suter, because I think if Sterling was fit, Giga and Sterling would be a better combination.
Of course it would, and I think, as much as I don't see it happening, but we've got 2 left backs sitting there on the bench. We've got Robbie Fraser and you've got Jeffy that are sitting there and they're playing a right back at left back. I mean, it makes no sense to me, and as much as I don't see it happening, I would love to see the same. I'd love to see Max Aarons actually playing his proper position, because I see too many people slating him online, and I don't think Suter being next to him at left centre half is really helping him, to be honest. Suter's been
2 square pegs and try to put him into circles.
Yeah, I know exactly. You're right, and we can't slag the boy until we see him in his right position. We can't.
Got some comments to catch up on. Just
before you do that, the next time we'll comment on after the comments is the big one is, does he drop Tavernier or no for tomorrow night? But let's get the comments in first.
Yeah, so just pick up a couple of quick points, okay? Just I want to say this because all summer the focus has been on Russell Martin, how he has this style of play and it's like, passing and he won't change it, right? Motherwell set up the exact same way as we set up on Saturday, and they were much more effective at that style of play, and it was embarrassing to watch. They cut us open almost every time they went forward. If it wasn't for, the same as the Panathinaikos games, if it wasn't for horrendous finishing, we could have lost that 3 or 4 on Saturday, make no mistake. And it's terrible. And,
I've no idea who their manager is. I have no idea who Motherwell's manager was, but I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try pronounce it. I hope I don't butcher it. It's either Danish or Norwegian, but Jens Asterel Bistrop, I think it is. I've never heard of him, but seems to be a great manager.
The reason I'm saying that is, by the end of the game, I was really impressed by him. I thought that the way they set out, Motherwell normally would have, is that right? They'd have sat back after the one. They went to put the nail in their coffin, and we're sitting back inviting them to do it.
Yeah, and just very, very quickly, just another thing to pick up on. Russell Martin after the game, which we'll probably get to in a minute.
It's God eating his dinner here. I've not got my glasses. It's God eating his dinner whilst I'm sitting here starving.
It was the same mistake. It was the same mistakes for last season. But Russell Martin made the same mistake for last season as playing players out of this position. He played Doll on the right and he played Aarons on the left.
I think
that what you will. So
personally, I think the biggest mistake that was made there at the weekend was the changes that he made. And we were 1-0 up at the time, and you're bringing off Raskin and Joe Rothwell, the 2 players who are going to control the game for you, and you bring on, I believe, Connor Barron and who else was he brought on in the midfield? I can't remember, to be honest. I think my brain's just trying to fill it. Was it Bajrami? Aye, Bajrami and Connor Barron. 2 players, I mean, Connor Barron, we've not really seen much of him pre-season, and even Bajrami, but we've not seen much of him just in general. But is he on the bar? But he's always invisible in the park, and he showed that. And Saturday, we never even noticed him in the park. Made no change. Well,
there was far too many similarities, more so in the second half last Saturday than so many similarities than there was with the last season.
Right.
Now the other thing, guys, that we should remember as well, since Russell Martins came in, we've not dominated any team for 90 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, well, I see that now we've got quite a few comments coming in, so I think we should probably dedicate a wee few minutes and sort of read these out and talk a wee bit about
They're
this.
coming in now, aye.
Aye, there's quite a few.
So,
Quite a few big ones.
Ryan, a good part of the show, our good friend Ryan Nugent, has made quite a salient point about Tav. It's quite to the point. It just says, get Tav to F word. So, that's the analysis there. That's what you want in it, directed to the point.
Well, I think
Jim,
that's what
Jim
both
Ward
other
has
fans
gone
want.
back to the manager and saying Russell Martin was the wrong choice for the job. I think we've already talked about that, over the summer, but it is what it is. And John Fraser's saying that Mark should have known better. Did Motherwell take a point? Motherwell took points off us last season, beat us at home. He should have done his homework better, and we should have been out there for the start and wiped the floor with them, and just didn't do that. And Dylan is saying he'll move Tav to centre back and play Giega and play Jeffy as well. And Jim was followed up his comment with saying it's the biggest mistake appointing Russell Martin. So I don't think we're going to get shot of Russell Martin anytime soon. But yeah, he's got a lot of work to do with fans, and the game against Motherwell doesn't help.
I'm not getting all this folks saying they want the manager sacked. He's just in the door. And look, don't get me wrong, awful result there on Saturday. We dropped points for the third season in a row on opening day. It's an awful result. We didn't play well, and to be honest, he goes on about that. Well, everyone goes on about this attacking style of football, this sort of fluid, quick passing football. I don't see that. I didn't see that on Saturday. I don't think any of us seen that on Saturday. I've not even seen it anywhere in pre-season at all. But I think we've got to give the guy a chance. He's only just in the door. It's his third competitive game at the club. I mean, we've got to give him a bit of a chance, I think.
He wasn't everybody knows he wasn't the guy I wanted in the job. But I'll agree with Gordy. I don't think the club's got any intentions whatsoever in the next couple of months of even considering getting rid of the manager. So we're going to have to go with the cards that we're dealt with. But somebody made a comment in the comment section that I can't see because I've not got the Gregory Peck's on. And I do agree with this. And this is a problem we've had for a long time. And this is an English problem where a lot of English people have came to our club, managers, coaches, and have underestimated the game. They basically think it's like a fur park, go there, that'll be easy. Come up to Scotland, you don't have to do your homework because they're not doing their homework. You're correct. Motherwell Moreland matched this last season, and if we didn't know that was coming, then that's quite simply an error on our part.
I think we'll all seem to be one of our ballgame teams now. We keep constantly losing to them or drawing to them, honestly, in the league. I don't know what's happening. That's just been horrible.
Unfortunately, most teams look at our bogey team in the last couple of years.
I don't think it is. I think the problem is that we underestimate clubs, and these teams are getting better. Now, the other thing is, when you have a go at Rangers, we've still got that problem. When you have a go, we look as if all our players are going to freeze. It happened in Panathinaikos. We were talking about it. We had a couple of beers in it. We're in Bristol, right? We were talking about it. Panathinaikos looked dangerous every time the ball went in our box. And our players still panic and freeze.
Yeah, it was the same on Saturday as well. It's like if you go back and watch even the highlights, you'll see it in the highlights. We are just caught. Just a simple ball shoot through the middle. We seem to be. Aye, we seem to be always get caught with that. And it was a start that Vivian actually told us on Saturday. We've had 51 shots at Butland over the last 3 games. It's incredible. And how we've only lost 2 goals in those 3 games is I still can't believe the chances Panathinaikos missed, to be perfectly honest. Butland,
I've even made the comment the last couple of weeks that we've been quite lucky. Sometimes you need a bit of luck, right? But we have been quite lucky because Panathinaikos could have gubbed us at Ibrox in the first half. Back to what I'm saying, we should be dominating teams for 90 minutes. We're not doing that. The manager keeps telling us he knows the problems. Now, he mentioned in his press conference, I can't remember him, Gordy might be able to look them up. I did send you some bullet points earlier on, but he mentioned on his press conference, I was listening to the way in, that they're like beasts when they're playing, when they're training. But the manager's also saying that he's seen some worrying signs when they're not playing. So make up your mind, because I don't know really what he's meaning with that. Is he meaning that the players are training hard, but before the match, if they're not playing, they're not interested? I don't get it. But there's worrying signs there, certainly.
I just say that Russell Martin said he's always going to be honest with the players and supporters. He's not yet to play any games. The response has been good. We've watched clips and I know what's expected, what is unacceptable, and it's not always easy. But the coaching staff are here to help the players improve. Not a lot of evidence of that so far, to be perfectly honest. And that'll bring me to the next point, probably, which Ryan's touched upon there in the comments, just about how weak we look up front. And I'm sorry, I've said it for 6 months, and I'll keep saying it until he's sold. Danilo is not a Rangers player, and I'm sorry. He might be good,
Agreed.
he might have looked good in pre-season, but I'm sorry, for me, he's not the answer. And he was one of the big reasons why we folded on Saturday, because he wasn't holding the ball up, he wasn't moving. And if you watch the first half, there was a clip where Raskin's driving forward to the edge of the box. Raskin has to take a shot in the end because Danilo doesn't move, and Raskin actually has to go over to him and tell him that's where you run to. And that's a big problem for me.
Danilo's an average player. And I hope I prove wrong with this, but I just can't see him improving anymore. The injuries that he got haven't helped. However, I don't think he's suited to the style of play that we play. And you've got the problem as well here. Dessers is probably a bit pissed off now that he's been dropped. He's received a lot of criticism, but Dessers is a far more clinical and a better striker.
Yeah.
I think the two strikers, well, if you're not counting Iggerman, who looks to be away, if you're Dessers and Danilo, they're two strikers, and you can't rely either of them to score every game. I mean, as much as you look at Dessers' output last season, 30 goals in a season. I mean, it's good on paper, but football's played in grass, not on paper. And you look at some of his performances for last season, and it's strange. It's how poor he can be one week, and then the next week he's one of the best players in the league. Then the week after he made to look like, pardon my language again. Did he?
I forgot me the manager, right? He's brought in, as I said, he's brought in some really good wing players, and it's all guys that seem to be able to get the ball in the box, and it's all good assists. So, more chances than ever, more chances in the last couple of years, right, are going to go into our box. Who would you rather the chances go to, Dessers or Danilo? To me, Dessers all day long.
Yeah, of course it would be Dessers, but you still can't rely on that. You still can't rely on one week he's good, the next week he's rubbish. You still can't rely on that. You need a proper finisher within the club.
And the proper finisher is Eagleman. But the manager said as well, and again, this is back to the press conference, the after-match conference. He said that there's only been one player there's been a bid in for. I find that hard to believe. If that is the case, then Eagleman should be match fit now, surely. And if he's match fit, we probably all agree that Eagleman would be the player to be playing.
100%, especially in a European game there that's just coming up, of course, on Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I disagree, and I don't want to, because I don't actually rate Dessers as highly as some people do. I think out of the three strikers at the moment, if I was going to rely on somebody, I would rely on Dessers, but it's not.
It's not the answer.
Eagleman scored a couple of good goals last season, yeah, but he went 8, 9, 10 games in a row without scoring. And
because
also,
he was played out on the left, he was played out of position that we were talking about earlier on.
I'm talking about as a direct striker with better firepower and far more chances sent to him.
I get that. I just Dessers, but then another side of the coin, which just went to my head there as well. We are spending a lot of money on these wingers, right? Could you imagine being somebody like Ant-Man, who scored, assist 14 goals last season? Every game he's setting up Dessers week in, week out, and Dessers scores one in every 6 or something. He's going to end up getting frustrated. All the wingers that we're signing, they're going to get frustrated because Dessers is not a natural finisher. Yes, he can score goals, but he's not a natural finisher. That might sound contradictory, but it's what I feel.
No, listen, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what Lewis is saying as well here. And I've also got to go back to what we spoke about for 2 years, right? You were getting Lawrence Shankland on a free, right? And that would have been somebody I'd had like sat on the bench in the last couple of weeks, coming in when these guys are no kicking their arse. But we never took that opportunity. So we need to, either the boy Asgard is going to be the answer, or we're going to have to find somebody in 3 weeks have we got? What's the transfer deadline?
No, it's like first
August, mate.
September.
Aye, so 3 weeks still to get somebody. But we can't keep fluffing the chances, and we can't keep... The defence is awful now. That can't be maintained. At least we can fix the midfield.
Yeah, just a wee comment, so picking up on what you said, John Fraser is give us a big comment, so I'm going to read it out, okay, so just bear with me for a moment, all right?
Aye.
You can find it again. Take nothing away from Europe so far, so he's making the point that we would all jump at the chance of beating Panathinaikos. However, we went unimpressive, and tomorrow night is more of a test, and he says that it won't be a walkover. I don't think anybody's expected to be a walkover tomorrow, but what I want to move the conversation on to, and this is what I'm getting to, is that John Fraser says Russell Martin's throwing the players under the bus, and I just wanted to know what you guys thought of his press conference after the game on Saturday.
Aye. Interesting because if he goes on to a run now and they start getting results, people will say it was genius. Players might down tools, they might start infighting, I don't really know. I thought it was a bit early for it, and I was probably blaming the manager as much as I was the players. But it's all, the proof's in the pudding. See what we spoke about earlier on, Gordy and Lewis. See if he doesn't drop Tavernier, he doesn't move him, doesn't start playing players in position, and he doesn't get rid of these bad influences, then what was the point of saying, making that statement?
Yeah, no, totally, mate. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was talking about. We don't know who he was talking about. My guess is he was talking about Diomande and Danilo. I don't think he was talking about Tavernier. I don't think he was talking about Matt Sarans. I don't think he was
But
talking about defenders.
so back to what I'm saying, right? So if that's who he's talking about, and he doesn't drop them tomorrow night, then what was the
Oh, it's
point
on
of doing
him.
it?
Oh, it's on him, aye, absolutely. And yeah, but my feeling is that for 2 years we've been criticising Michael Beale and Clement for their press conferences and how they're waffling and talking nonsense, etc. So for me personally, it was refreshing to actually hear a manager admit that the players' attitude, because we all know the mentality has been shocking over the last 18 months.
But,
So
but
at
he's came
least,
back. But he's came back tonight. That's what I'm saying, and said that training,
yeah,
they're brilliant in training. So he's
yeah,
kind of
which is
backtracking a wee bit.
strange. Yeah. So, but he said, but he has. I think we all know that even under Clement last season, even the big games we rose our game for, and we could beat Spurs, Man United, Celtic a few times. We
Without a doubt.
competed at that level, but we didn't have the right mentality for the other games. And Martin has addressed that, so he knows that. At least we know that he knows that. If that makes sense. So but it's on him to change that, and time will only tell if he can.
I don't think any manager in the past, whether it's Clement, Bale, or even Van Bronckhorst, would have questioned the mentality. Well, not questioned the mentality of the players, but would have not been aware of a poor mentality within the squad. I think Russell Martin's one of the only ones who's actually properly came out and called it out, and I agree with you, Si, a wee bit. I think it's a bit early to be getting onto that. I do think he was throwing them under the bus a bit, and don't get me wrong, I think, as Gordy was saying as well, it's a bit refreshing to hear a manager come out and be so direct, but I do think it's a bit early for that. I think you've got to give the players a chance as well. They're fitting into a new system. There's no excuses for that performance on Saturday. It was an absolute disgrace, but these players are trying to fit into a completely new system that we've not been playing. Well, these players haven't played. So
Well, and put it another way, right? See anybody that's new to the club, not just the players that were playing, the players that were watching, and the players that are on the bench. If there were in any doubt, the Rangers support was fantastic at the weekend. They were absolutely fantastic from the start of the game, before the game, and after it. The Rangers support was outstanding, but they never shied away from letting their feelings be clear. And I agree with them 100%. So the support let them know. So the players know that it was unacceptable, and they know that that's not how this club is run. That we need to be fighting for every result and getting a result in these places. Did the manager need to say it? You won't know until you see what the reaction is, I suppose. But I think it was a bit premature.
Just a couple of comments. Dylan is saying left back should be a priority, and also midfield's actually been our weakest point, so not defence or the attack. Midfield's the weakest point at the moment, with teams just walking right through Diomande and Raskin. Uh, Positive a very positive message from Robert White. Just says early bells, the future's bright, the future's orange. So
I hope so.
there you go. That's all you need, really, isn't it? At the end of the day.
We
So,
just needed a wee yellow
right,
people at the end of that.
And Ryan's also just commenting as well, just again that the players are kind of like throwing the manager under the bus by their performance more than anything else, and I can't
100%.
disagree with that.
Aye.
Can't disagree with that at all.
Well, put it
So
this way. Sorry, just to jump in with that one, right? There've also been a few different people, right? I might be wrong with this, right? So, Clement definitely said that some of the players are not doing what he's telling them. I think Barry Ferguson came out and said it, if I remember here,
yeah,
or alluded to it. And the managers, more or less, came out and said similar. So, if three managers
George Wilson.
in a year, if three of them in the space of a year are coming out and saying that these players are not doing it, then that's no new players, that's the old players. So it can't be hard to identify who these guys are. And if there's a problem, cut the problem out, and that should be the solution.
yeah, well,
Uh,
yep. Sorry, right. Crack
Sorry,
on,
on you
Gordy,
go.
sorry. No, on you go.
No, you're sound. On you go. On you go.
Aye, no, well, we're being very critical of the players as we always are here at the Gers TV. Rightly so. As we've all constantly said, disgrace on Saturday. I think we've got to look into tomorrow with sort of open eyes. I think we will see a massive change in the team. I think the last few weeks or so, the last few games, the team's been very, very predictable. To be honest, you see Dow starting, Max Aarons at left centre back. You know who your two defenders are going to be, your midfield, your strike force. The team's been so predictable the last few weeks, and I think we will see a sort of change on Tuesday. Well, I certainly hope so, anyways, because change is needed.
We need a change and we need a reaction.
Yes.
If there's not any changes, then it kind of defeats his whole argument with the press conference on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, of course
Saturday
it does.
evening, sorry.
That was my point a minute ago, aye. That's the whole point. If you're going to come out and you're going to make a big statement like that, because it was quite refreshing to hear it, but action speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
He's also, the other thing as well, he's got players, he's got a good squad, right, and he's got a lot of new players, so he's got options. It's not as if you're saying, but he can't do anything about it. He can do something about it. And do you know the easiest thing he can do? Play players in the bloody right position.
Yeah, you would think it's the kind of thing you think you get taught at your licenses and your badges, your coaching to become a manager, that start off for 10 thing. But that's what it is. What worried me as well is that most of the players that came on Saturday didn't look interested either. Barron ran about the place but didn't really look interested. Rami, okay, you could make an argument for him trying to change things, but there was a point. It was like 92 minutes, and I noticed it. I can't remember who I turned to. I think I was watching the game myself, but never mind. Rangers trying to drive forward. I think Raskin's got the ball. Not one single Rangers player, not one actually wanted the ball. And that for me, that spoke volumes. 2 minutes to go. They just missed a sitter. We were in the counter attack. I think it was a throw in. Raskin's got the ball, or someone's got the ball. Maybe Barron actually, and not one Rangers attacker actually wanted the ball. And for me, that spoke volumes.
It's almost as if they think a one each draw at Fir Park is a good result, and that needs to get knocked out of these guys right away, whoever they are. But no, I agree with that. I actually think Raskin plays. See where Rothwell plays now. I think I would get Raskin back into that position as a ball winner, if I'm being honest.
Problem is though, with that, mate, as much as I agree with that, Joe Rothwell's a big player that Russell Martin signed to make a statement. So Rothwell will not get dropped.
No, I'm not saying he will, but that's my opinion. I think I would have Raskin back in that position.
So, moving on tomorrow, obviously, we've got a chance tomorrow to put things right. We've got a chance tomorrow to make a claim to progress even further to the Champions League. And the good news is that it seems to me that Victoria, I think you pronounce it Pleasant, I could be wrong, their star player seems to be left behind, so he can get sold to Leon today. So, that's
I can't remember who he is, but I did see that. I did see it mentioned. I actually seen it. Was it yesterday? I think I seen that. He's definitely not playing. I can't remember who he is.
Well, I was relying on you to say you've done your homework and you're going to try and pronounce it properly for us.
Is it the boy Raf? Is it Duro Sinmi? Is that the one you're talking about?
Whoever it is, he's got to Leon anyway.
I thought the star player this season so far has been that boy Vidra. He scored 4 goals in 4 games. So. Yeah, I have done my homework, Gordy.
Well, I'm only going to what I said. It said Pleasant star player left behind to sign for Leon. So I'll get my source later in the group chat so you can slag me off there rather than public.
Fine, no bother.
It's down to what do we know about them and how far advanced are we in preparation for the game. We weren't very far advanced in the Panathinaikos game, but we got a result, we got through. The Ibrox factor certainly helped. I don't know enough about them, to be honest, to have a great opinion. But as far as we're concerned, the first half an hour, the support will be there. So we really need the players to be on top form, the correct formation, and no fanning about again. Back to what I'm saying about this silly thing that we do when we're under no pressure and we create pressure by a few silly passes.
Well, Victoria Pilsen, they've had a week to prepare for this game. Because their game at the weekend there got postponed, and I'm assuming it would have probably been to give them a bit more time to prepare for this game.
I remember.
Game against Mlada Borislav, they were playing, and it got postponed. I think we've seen that. I can't remember who it was we were playing before, but we've seen that with a team I think last season as well in Europe. They had a game postponed. No, in fact, it was PSV. was PSV the season before.
Aye.
They had their game postponed, and I think we did as well.
Aye, that was to get it to a system. Aye.
Yep. So it was. Yep. I remember that. But yeah, so it's clear to see that they've had a bit more time to prepare for this game than what we have. But I think we've got more to lose in this game, to be honest, than what Victoria put. As much as I don't know too much about them, but I do think we've got more to lose.
Gordy.
Yeah, I mean,
Still with us?
yeah, I mean, it's a way. I mean, in a way, like the draw was made today for the next qualifying round, and
Yes.
you know, Salzburg and Club Brugge are a step up, but it's a better draw than either Benfica or Nice. Again, just in my opinion, but I
Definitely,
would
I
say
agree.
that Club Brugge or Salzburg in the next qualifying round. But I think it's one of these teams where they're still a kind of unknown quantity in European football, but they got to the quarterfinals last year, and I think they took Lazio to extra time in the quarterfinals or thereabouts. So, or Roma, they were very very close to get to the semi-finals, and they're no mugs. I think they finished. They might have finished. They might have finished above us in the league. I'm not 100% sure. I need to check that out. But they definitely got to the quarterfinals Europa League last season, so they're no mugs. And yeah, they'll come to Ibrox confident. These teams are good technical teams. They're usually well drilled, well coached as well. And you know, if we give the same amount of chances we give to Panathinaikos, we could get absolutely humped. The other side of the coin is hopefully the team will be motivated. The Ibrox factor, as you say, Si, it's one of these games. It could be 3-0 Rangers or 3-0 to them. Do you know what I
Well,
mean? It's odd. It's weird.
We said that about last week as
Aye.
well, didn't we?
One of the big questions and big talking points will be the boy Antman, if they get him registered in time. I know there was clearance, but I've been doing interviews, so I've not heard if he's been put in the squad yet. I think we've got to 10 o'clock tonight to do the squad, but if he's available, do you play him? He's not played for us before. I would say aye, but I just think we need a wee injection of
We need a statement, I
belief.
think, and I don't know if the boy Mikey Moore's eligible to play or not. I don't know if he's.
I'm sure he was. His only issue was his age, because he wasn't 18. It was harder for him to get the clearance.
I think that was the issue for the league game on Saturday, but I don't know about tomorrow. But I think if Antman is registered for tomorrow, I don't think. I think we need to play him. I think we need to make a statement. We need to play. We need to be bolder. I've seen a comment there as well from Nathan as well. 4-0, make a statement, and I mean, I wouldn't actually be. I would be surprised, but not as surprised as many other would be, because we've seen that before. The Rangers.
Gordy, is there any
Yeah, I'm just
comments
looking
coming
up.
in?
I'm just
Aye.
yeah. So I think Ryan's just let us know that they actually played Hearts last season in the playoff round for. I think it was a Conference League actually. No, the Europa League. They beat Hearts 2-0 in aggregate. And then they went to the league phase, and they went to Eintracht Frankfurt and drew 3 each. They beat Real Sociedad and Dynamo Kiev, who beat us to qualifiers the year before. They lost at home with Man United, beat Anderlecht 2-0, etc. So they're no mugs. And yeah, they got to the round of 16, sorry, and they just put out 3-2 on aggregate by Lazio. So yeah, they got to the knockout. They got round of 16 last season, and yeah, so they're no mugs. And they've had some good results. I mean, going to Kiev, winning 2-1, drawn away at Eintracht Frankfurt. Obviously, we all remember that team as well. So they're no mugs.
What I will say is they're certainly no better than some of the teams that we've knocked out in the last 4 or 5 years in Europe. My biggest fear is Rangers. It's no the opposition just now, and we really need to get we're in show in order. Aye, but I wouldn't underestimate them. Certainly, that's some good stats here that's came out.
Yeah, and I mean, but again, I would say that on balance, we are probably the better. If every player's playing to their full potential, we probably are the better team. But we haven't shown it so far, and but it's a great opportunity to prove the doubters wrong. It's a statement game for this team to actually show Russell Martin what he can do, and also for Russell Martin to show us fans that he is a man for the job.
Aye, I mean, in terms of what are we weaker in from last season? I would say we certainly missed Tierney. Tierney's influence in front of goal and his ability. If the boy Antman can come in tonight and then play tomorrow night, and he can fill that gap, that makes us stronger again. We'll always get chances at Ibrox in Europe. The big one is what we spoke about earlier on. Take the chances.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I have just a wee peek at transfer
I think
market
a
for
couple
someone else.
have came in. How's your feed been? I meant to ask, because the weather's howling out here, so I'm hoping that the actual feeds. I don't see anybody comment on it, but it was still pretty windy outside when we arrived. That won't affect the
It's
game
just
enough because it's going to be the storm's going to be tonight.
Hi, it was it was a storm, but it was a storm
A
and
Kreska
also
storm.
blazing sunshine at the same time. It was one of these
Aye.
It
strange
was a
days.
storm for about 2 hours, if that.
Uh, so Dylan saying Mickey Moore's available. He'll start ahead of Ant-Man.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
hear you calling him Mickey there.
oh, Mikey. No, it's just because Simon, not because Simon had the view on me. Oh, Mickey, you look so fine. That's been playing in my head all day. To be perfectly honest.
I think we're
Uh,
going to start singing it
and
there.
he's also saying that Kolach could have been a good striker for the amount of players we brought in, winger wise as well. Interesting point. A couple of predictions: 3-1 to Rangers, etc. That's one of the most popular predictions right now. 3-1 Rangers, and I think Ryan's drunk because he says, "Well, that feed's fine," but he also says you're still handsome. So I think he's on the bevy tonight. I'm not sure.
Oh well, you never know. But I think it's that time of the night, guys. We'll do our predictions. We might be back on tomorrow night. We'll be back on Thursday. We've got our StreamYard show on Thursday night as well. But big game for us, and I'm going to go 2-0 to Rangers.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Rangers. Gordy, what about you?
I'm going to say Rangers 4, Victoria Pilsen 1.
Don't you start. I think you're drunk, I know.
Let's just
Okay,
hope we get the
5-1
result. Aye. Let's just hope we get the result and we start getting a more of a feel-good factor back. It seems to be going up and down in it. It's, every time you kind of get happy. But aye, stick by the Rangers, and let's hopefully things are going to get better.
Okay, well, it's been a great show. Thanks to everyone at home with their comments and their thoughts on Rangers. Certainly a lot more comments tonight than the previous week. So keep watching, keep subscribing, keep your comments coming, and we'll see you depending on the result tomorrow. Might see you tomorrow. If not, see you Thursday, guys.
Good night, folks.
Good night. And always remember, we are the people.
We are.
Cool.
I thought Gordy was controlling it. It's me in it tonight. Hold on. There we go. No glasses needed.